Hello, digital artists. In this video, we are going to learn how to create a mandala using found images from Google, and we're going to put them together in this Google drawing. So the artist, Andy Goldsworthy, he makes a nature mandala. So a nature mandala is similar to a regular mandala. It's using these found objects, these colored leaves that go from green to yellow green to yellow orange to red to a deeper red. All of these are arranged in a design that is similar to a mandala. So down below here, this is a mandala from the Met. You can see as I zoom in on it, I can't really zoom in on it anymore, that it has this radial design. So it starts in the center, and these designs are repeated around, and it's using a square shape. But this is a mandala. And above up here, I have some definitions for you. A mandala, it's a geometric shape that means circle in Sanskrit. It's a common design among many different cultures and appears as the sun, the moon, the earth. In Hinduism and Buddhism, a mandala is a symbol representing the universe and life. The circular design is meant to express the concept that everything in life is connected. And a nature mandala is a little different. It's similar to a mandala symbol. It's an integrated structure organized around a unifying center. It's usually circular. It's not permanent. It's ephemeral art. Ephemeral art means that it can come and go and it can be shifting. So these designs have a radial balance, which relates to the elements that spread out from a central point. And the weight of the picture is pretty even. It's even on the top and the bottom, on the left and the right, diagonally. We can create lines through the artwork that can break up the space, and it's kind of all the same radiating out from the center. So for this project, I'm going to read you the steps. We just looked at Andy Goldsworthy art, and we looked at an artwork that's a little bit older. That's from Tibet that you can see at the Met. And I want you to think about a place for your background. So what materials are you going to find there? Andy Goldsworthy worked outside. So what materials might you find in your place? Are you at the beach? Are you in the woods? Are you on the street? Are you on a sidewalk? What kind of ideas might you find there? And I have some of these images that you can already see have no background. I have some stones, some shells, a fruit, some flowers, some twigs with leaves, acorns, different kinds of leaves. So I'm going to show you how we can work with these images and how we can find some of our own images if these ones up here aren't speaking to you. So we're going to plan, then we're going to create and find images, then we'll use shapes as a guide for our objects, and then we'll duplicate our objects and put them on our shapes as a guide. And then when we finish placing those objects, we're going to group them all together. We'll find our background, and I'll put our background behind our nature mandala. So the first thing that we need to do is find some images that go with our idea. So I only have one fruit here. I have this one little strawberry. So I'm going to see if I can find some more berries. So I'm going to type in insert. I'm going to go to image, and I'm going to search the web, and I can already see some things coming up. I was typing in different types of leaves and the word transparent background. So I'm going to type in grapes, transparent background, because I want to find some grapes that I could use that have a transparent background, something that's see-through for my nature mandala. So I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to insert it. And we know that the image has a transparent background because when we zoom in on it, we can see the checkerboard is still coming through behind it. This is really big, so I'm going to shrink it down, and I'm going to move it over here next to my strawberries because that's a good transparent background image. I'm going to see if I can find anything else. So I'm going to insert, image, search the web, and I'm going to see if I can find something else with a transparent background. And I'm going to type in a different type of a flower. So I'm going to type in tulip, transparent background. And I'm going to see what one of these images is really standing out to me for my artwork. And I'm going to choose this one. And then I'm going to click insert. Yep, we got a good one. It has a transparent background. So now that I have this one, I can shrink it down and then move it over here. So just in case I needed a couple more images, if there was something else you needed to find, you could go insert image, search the web, and maybe we can type in a conch shell. Maybe we want to do a beach theme, so we can maybe try to find one more shell to add to our artwork that's going to have a transparent background. That's going to be a good image for us to work with. I'm going to choose this one and I'm going to insert it and hope that it has, oh, we got an error message. So sometimes the program can't save the image and that's okay. Let's try searching again for something else. Pink shell. Let's see if we can find a pink shell. Let's try this one. Oh, nope, that's not going to work. It doesn't have a transparent background. It's white. We don't want that for our design, so I'm going to delete it by pressing the delete key on the keyboard. Let's try one more time to search the image for, let's just type in barnacle shell. Let's see what we get. Maybe some of these terms are not so good. What if we try sea glass? I'm going to try and find something that's going to have a transparent background. These are not doing it. Sometimes it's hard to find the perfect image. Let's type in something else that we might be able to find. Banana. Because maybe you want to build your artwork with fruits. So I want to try and find a good image that's going to have a transparent background. I'm going to choose this one. No, maybe this one. I don't want both of them. I just want to see this one. Let's see what happens. We got another dud. We got one that has a white background, so we'll delete that. Insert image. Search the web. Let's try cherry. Cherry with a transparent background, because that's what we're looking for. Let's try this one. Insert. Oh, man, these are a lot of duds in here. Insert image. Search the web. Let's try this one. Ah, we got it. Transparent backgrounds. We like them. All right, so now that we have a couple more things to work with, now we can start moving on and use the shapes tool to create shapes as a guide for us to put our objects on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a shape, and it could be a circle, it could be a square. We saw in this other artwork that they sometimes could use a square shape, but I'm going to just be simple and use a circle. So looking at the Andy Goldsworthy one, he made rings of color for these leaves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a circle, but this is too much. So I'm going to go to fill color and click transparent. And now I have just a plain circle. I'm going to click it and I'm going to practice duplicating with Control D. And now I have two circles. What I want to do now is I can start to resize those circles and really stretch them out. One thing I do want to do, this is what I'm going to do first. Move that one out of the way and let's line this one up in the center. I know it's in the center because it has these red crosshairs. Put it down. Then I can take the next one, line it up with those red crosshairs, put it down. But I want it to be a little bit bigger. I need those rings further apart, I think. So now I've got that. I can line it up in the center and get those red crosshairs. Where are they? That's not them. There they are. Duplicate it again. Control D. Make this last ring a little bit larger. So it's kind of like a bullseye. So once I have this bullseye here, I want to double check to make sure that it's centered because I don't think that this last ring is centered. Doesn't look right to me. Yeah, something about that is off. All right, there we go. That looks a little bit more even. So now I can think about using these images to line up over my circle shapes as a guide. So I'm going to pick one and I'm going to just duplicate it. I'm going to do click on it, click Control D. Then I'll move it over to the center. So that'll be my central image. And I can resize that image and stretch it out and make it big. Then I'm going to start building around it. And I'm just going to choose this image. I'm going to duplicate it. If I want, something I can do is I can come to Format Options and I can recolor the photo. So if I come over to Recolor and choose the word No Recolor, then I can make that picture that I have of this little flower a different color. So I could make that same picture in all different colors of the rainbow. So I'm going to use Recolor and I'm going to start with yellow. Maybe I think the yellow is not right. I can always play with these other options, or I can reset. Or I can choose a different color. Then what I'm going to do is, to get really up close, I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to click 200%. I want to zoom in and click 200%. I want these to be a little bit smaller so that I can kind of line them up around the edge. So what I'll do is I'll just duplicate, move it over, duplicate, move it over. And once I have them kind of where I want them, I can press Shift, click, click. Then I can duplicate. Now I have 3 of them all together. And then I can use that button, the little blue dot, to rotate them around the edge. So I can just rotate with that blue button, just like that. And then I can fine tune them. So now I have half of it. Now I can press Shift, click, 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 Control D to duplicate, and then flip it around all the way upside down, like that. And look at that. So then if I really need to, I can click and fine tune them where they are. If I want to just put them inside as a guide, move them around, give everybody some space, spread them out. I think it'll be easier to just put them inside of those lines. There we go. So now that I have that, I'm going to zoom back out. And then I can go and I can choose something else. So now I don't have to have all flowers. I can choose this leaf. I can duplicate it, move it over. And maybe I want to have the leaf in between. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the zoom tool to zoom back in, and I'm going to start working on my design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use these little pieces. I'm going to duplicate them using Control D. The control button, CTRL, and the letter D. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate and move like that. Duplicate and move. Duplicate and move. So I can click it, or I can use the arrows. Duplicate it, rotate it. 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 And just keep going. Control D, move it over, rotate it. Duplicate it. Oh, we're getting close. Duplicate it, move it over, and rotate. You're probably looking at this now like, Miss Russell, why are these flowers behind the leaves? We can change that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift, and I'm going to click on just the rose. And I can see it's selecting the roses because they have a blue border. There we go. They're all selected. I'm going to go Arrange Order, Bring to Front. It's going to make them on top. So I changed the order. Now I can keep going with my design, and I'm using those circles as a guide. So I can come over here and find something else to work with. If I don't like the color it is, maybe I can recolor it. So I'm going to actually choose this one. I'm going to duplicate it. Then I'll move it into my canvas and I'll recolor it, because I definitely don't like that color. So brown. Let's choose this one. It's like a yellow green. And maybe this is a bigger leaf. So I can change the size by using the anchor squares all around the edge. So once I have my design where I want it, how I want it, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, go to 100. There we go. Then I can keep doing the same thing. Duplicate, move it, rotate it, duplicate it, rotate it, move it, duplicate it, move it, rotate 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 it. Just keep going all the way around. Duplicate it, move it, rotate it, duplicate it, move it, rotate it. Oh, wrong one. This one. Move it and rotate it. Duplicate it. Move it. Rotate it. There we go. So we're still going on it. Maybe I want to use the pine cone now. Grab the pine cone, duplicate it, move it in. Maybe I even want to just put it right on top, like that. Duplicate it, move it, rotate it, duplicate it, move it, rotate it. So I'm just really creating that design that is repeating all the way around. Duplicate it, move it, rotate it. That way everything is radiating from the center. Duplicate it, move it, rotate it. And I'm just working one piece at a time. Whoops. You want to make sure, whoops, I did it again. Eek. And then I'm only picking that one thing that I'm working on. Duplicate it, move it, rotate it. Duplicate it, move it, rotate it. Duplicate it, move it, rotate it. So I'm going strong. We're finishing strong. Last piece over here, okay. So now I want to try and think about what I could use to fill in there too. I'm going to use this one. So I'm doing the same process. So I can always resize my picture. If I want to try to speed it up, maybe I click, 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 shift and click, then duplicate, then I can rotate it. Let's see how that looks. Eek. If I do something I don't want, I want to do Control Z. That's undo, because I accidentally unclicked. I wasn't ready to unclick. How many do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's click it again. Shift and click. 1, 2, 3, 4. Duplicate it. Then I'm going to rotate it so that I can fit in that other section, and I can use my arrow keys to move that over. So that's the fast way. And the slower way is to just move each piece one by one. And then we can rotate them a little bit more. Try and get them in right where they belong. And if it's not working out, maybe you just shift that 1 or 2 once you've got them where you need them. We're pretty close. Add those sandwiched in between. And then maybe I'll pick another flower. Or something else. We haven't used any of the berry or this flower, so I'll use this flower. I like this one. I think this is cute. Maybe I don't like that one. I'll just press delete. All right, I think I'm happy with this for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually click on these black lines if I can. Might not let me. Might have too much stuff here that I might not be able to actually click on the black lines, but maybe I can move some of these so that I could click on that black line and possibly delete the line. Because that might make my artwork look a little bit neater. Now that I'm done with that part, I might not need it anymore. So what I'm going to do is see if I can grab that black line and get rid of it now that I'm done with it. Might not let me. That's okay. We'll make it work. I think it's all right the way that it is. So I'm going to find a background now. But before I do that, I want to, because I'm on step number 5 now, once I finish placing the objects on the shape, of circle shapes I chose, I'm going to use Arrange Group to make my image all stick together. So to use Arrange Group, I'm going to click and drag. Everything is selected. Click and drag. I see everything is selected. I'm going to go to Arrange Group. Now everything is stuck together. Every time I click, it clicks everything. I'm going to add a background now. So I'm going to go to Insert, Image, search the web. I'm going to type in grassy field. And I'm going to get some images for my link that I can put in my background. Maybe I don't want a grassy field. Maybe I want a beach. Maybe I type in sandy beach. could try to find a background this way. Maybe I just type in sand and I can get a background that is just of sand. Some of these are really beautiful. Or maybe I can just type in field. I can get just a field. Maybe I can type in woods. Maybe I could type in forest floor. And I could try to find an image, a nice background. Ooh, I like this one or that one. A lot of these are really beautiful. I'll choose this one, insert. Oh no, we've got a problem. My entire picture is covered up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go arrange, order, send to back. Now my picture is on top of that. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, whoa, that's like really busy. Everything is super busy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to format options and I can think about recoloring my picture. Maybe I want it to be brown so that all of my things are popping up. Maybe I want to choose the yellow green. Maybe I want to choose gray. Maybe I want no recolor, and then I can just make an adjustment to it, like the brightness. I can pull the brightness down, or the contrast. I can pull the contrast down, but leave it bright. Maybe I don't like any of that at all. Maybe I need to replace the image. So once I have my image, I can always replace the image, and I can search the web, and I could type in sidewalk. Maybe I want a sidewalk for my base of my picture. So whatever background you choose, you might want to think about how your image is going to relate to that background. So I know my picture was able to crop it down, make it a little bit smaller, like that. Then I can resize my canvas, clicking and dragging on that corner. And now I'm a happy camper because I finished making my nature mandala. You know, I still don't really like this picture. I'm going to replace it. I'm going to search the web and I'm going to try and find a picture that's more like Andy Goldsworthy, like a puddle with a reflection. I like this one better. There we go. I am happy now. I like this so much better. And maybe even I could add more, but I'm happy with the way that this looks. And make sure that you write your artist statement and you could talk about the artwork by Andy Goldsworthy as the artist that we looked at for this project. So I can't wait to see what your nature mandala looks like.